which, but if we had stormwater control, is that it? All right, so I called it stormwater management, which is what we had, and then I broke it up into 2 articles. The first one, unchanged, is stormwater management, and then stormwater control became Article 2. So really, because both of them are lengthy, the whole thing is very lengthy, and hopefully, I wasn't gonna retype it, so I just like put the 2 of them together. And then, I don't know whether everybody got a
I
copy.
haven't had a chance to review it yet.
No, I haven't either.
Okay, so Cindy was gonna just scan it. 'cause
She did,
She
she sent
emailed
it
it.
to,
Okay,
yeah.
so, I mean, you can read it over, but again, there's nothing new in there. And then it just has to go to Joe to kind of be put into the formatting, but it's mostly already formatted. It's just, probably just, you know, so, no controversy.
Okay, so,
Question? I'm seeing a lot, not here, but around town, people who've won the primaries are leaving their signs up. You see that as an issue?
It's actually never been an issue around here. I think every once in a while, somebody has a sign that lingers, but not for a long period of time. I just wanted to use the model of Brookhaven and have it down on paper because it's part of that code. So once we pass this, then we'll have it in our code, and we can force the issue if somebody, doesn't want to take that.
but by you taking this out, did you change chapter 183 too?
Yeah, it's out of 183.
Okay. So
That's why-
183 changed, 132 changed, and 35 changed.
Yeah.
So we should really
That's what
review
I'm
it
saying.
and review it for November, and then either
There's-
do the public hearing, I mean,
there's-
for October, and then do
there's-
either November or
There's
December.
4 different chapters.
Okay,
There's now a chapter on building permits, which was 183.
okay.
So we have building permits, we have whatever else was left in 183, plus we have advertising signs and stormwater management.
Okay, so why don't we just review this for October, and then if we can, we'll either schedule it for November or December for public hearings. Maybe we'll do one a month. We'll do
Okay.
one in November, one in December, one in January.
The only concern I had, Joe, and hopefully you can say no problem, is that
No problem.
That's not, all of this stuff is more or less in existence. And especially the parts that are in 183. As soon as we take them out, but if we're doing it one chapter at a time, does that negate something? Are we gonna find ourselves without something on the books until we get all 4 of these things reviewed?
Well, we don't take them out technically until we adopt a new local law. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
never-
well, originally I thought we would have to adopt 4 new local laws, all at once. Is that what you're saying?
No, we
Yeah.
don't have to do it all at once. The old one doesn't, nothing happens to the old one until we adopt a new law.
We could do one a month.
So 183
So
should be
there's
the
no
last
gap.
one you do. 183 would be the last one you change,
Mhm.
because that would still have
Okay.
everything in
No,
I
it.
think we're
that's
heading in
right.
that
I'm
direction
sorry,
anyway.
I understand what you're saying, right. So yeah, we're taking pieces of 183 out, and we're just gonna adopt, if we're going to adopt a short version of 183, we should make that as the last
Okay.
one.
Okay, so
Yes.
what is this 46 building and construction? Chapter 46, that's a new one that we came up with. So there'll be
Yes,
4
this is
then,
building-
right? Okay, so there'll
Right,
be
this
4
is the
then.
building permit
Okay.
section. I think
And there's really
Frank,
gonna be
Frank
5 with pedaling.
gave me that name.
Okay.
I remember the building permits.
Mhm.
Building and construction, that's what he said, I think I used that in the
Okay, so after we do the other one, we'll be at 5,
Yes.
that we have to change.
The other
Okay.
part of this whole equation is that I know now we have Tina in place and she's gearing up and got other things to do, but I wanted to have the codes updated. I wanted to have them address certain deficiencies, duplication, but then also be online. So like is it unsafe buildings?
46?
One of them, maintenance, maintenance property, that was the name. We had that, it was contentious, we now have it on the books, but it hasn't been posted.
It's posted.
It's now on our
If you
website.
go to the E-code and you go to the new codes, it shows you.
Right, last
the
I
ones that
looked,
we
it
did.
wasn't. It's
Okay.
now on there, okay. No, but my point is that I just want to make sure that as we do these things, then they're then posted online,
Mhm.
because
I gotta make sure
it's
she
not
gets
fair
that.
for us to update the stuff especially something new, and then not have it accessible. I mean, that's the whole point of this whole thing, is to make it accessible, and then people know the story.
Do we have the ability to physically stick that up on the website?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell her. I mean, we're like 99% done. I only have like 2 or 3 things to add, but I'll make sure this is there.
We still give like a new resident book of village codes?
Yeah, well, you know what, Deidre Cronin and Jacqueline Taylor have been bringing them, not the codes, but the pamphlet that we did, and then just welcome them and just saying like, you know, if you have need anything, call us, join the Facebook group, you know, your email, stuff like that, so,
Do we have that in that book, that our codes are online?
yes.
I'm gonna drop a few of those off here so I don't have them here.
I'll get it from Jacqueline, she has them, if we have to order a couple more, we can, yeah. All right, let me ask her. Okay, Walnut Beach,
Park.
or,
It was California Park.
They're all parks.
All parks.
We're gonna change the signs. They'll change the sign.
Walnut Beach Park.
Walnut Park.
I'll just put park next to beach.
so we moved all the furniture, just so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we had a
Okay.
heart attack. We went down and we were like, oh my gosh, we can't believe it's all gone.
Because one day it was like, it looked like it was gonna be, one day it was gonna be a storm, one day it wasn't,
Yeah.
you know,
No, that was a
so.
good move to get that stuff
That
out.
was
Where did
great.
you keep it?
Right now it's in the greenhouse shed,
Oh, okay.
but can't stay there. It's gonna get ruined.
Yeah. So with that, there's an example
So
of
we
what we
have
can
two-
do down at Walnut Park.
2 examples.
That's all the same. Oh, that's the one.
That's the other one
Yeah.
that you sent.
Here.
So it really depends. I mean, for me, I'm looking at space and a little bit of aesthetics. I think that one
No, that's
is a
pretty
temp, yeah,
That's
it's a good
nice.
one. Yeah. This is more barn type. I think that opening is bigger.
Right.
But the key thing is, for just under 2,000, it comes pre-cut, ready to assemble. You just have to paint, buy a couple bundles of shingle for the roof, and it's done. So I think
Will that
David
fit the
can-
rake in it?
That'll fit everything. That's a 10 by 12.
Okay.
So that's a good size. It's long and wide, and we're bound to 12 by 12 anyway, right?
Yeah.
So we're right there.
And we're
Um,
thinking where we go, where the porta potty was?
No, I think on the high side of that lot.
Yeah.
Closer to One Oak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Further
All
up,
the way at
where
the end,
where the
yeah,
parking
then-
lot
yeah.
narrows, so nobody parks in the way back anyway.
But
Mhm.
also, when we have storms, that, the
Yeah.
lower area is
Get
flooded.
flooded,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So that would be perfect, so that's an example, it's just a matter of whether we want to do it or not. If we do it, we have to do it before the winter, so David has time to put it up
Mhm.
and paint it and get the roof shingles on.
Where's everyone think?
Well, just get back to what you said. We have all of this stuff already put away right here.
But what's gonna happen is, and has happened in the past, the kids break in,
Mm.
they're fooling around, it gets spray painted, and it gets ruined.
Well, I see the umbrellas and chairs are in the greenhouse.
Mhm.
So, but you said the shed over here, so you're saying in the lot part?
He couldn't fit it in the shed part. I think the chairs he put chairs in there, like did that first,
Mhm.
and then the access
see.
into the actual
It
greenhouse.
just seems like that's a good sized little, if you looked at that as a shed, that's a pretty good sized.
What's, is there
What-
still
what-
stuff
what's
in
There's
there?
stuff in there, it's more like a working shed, like
Yeah.
a place where you'd have a bench,
Right,
tools
for
and so
planting.
forth. I assume that is where David has some of his stuff, maybe not.
Mhm.
But if you're planting in the greenhouse, that's where you keep your soils, your pots, and, some gardening tools.
I think we put the hoses in the shed.
I think I would,
Well,
I think
we don't have any
maybe
of that anymore.
if we could
So
go
we do, we
like
take them in
winter
every, the hoses.
Oh, yeah.
without
No-
it.
Nothing like potting sheds, potting tables.
No, she just asked what I thought it was for.
Well, it just
Not
seems to
what
me
we
that
need.
if we have stuff in there that we're not using, we should make room and use that unless everybody says, well, we really need to keep the stuff right down at the beach so we don't have to lug it back and whatever. But David managed to do it pretty
The
quickly.
thing is, if you have a space for that, it doesn't get touched, it doesn't get damaged. If you start to now take part of that greenhouse and that shed portion, and it becomes shared storage, that's where you start getting damage. Stuff gets piled
Yeah, no,
on
I
top,
agree with that.
it's moved, so,
But what I'm saying is that if we have room in the shed part, where it's not, just in the greenhouse and people can see it, things happen. If we have stuff in that shed that we don't use, that's taking up space, and we could fit all this stuff in there, that's pretty secure. My thinking is that if we just have a shed, a standalone shed down at the beach, that would be more of a target.
Well, it's more visible down there. And then we're not just talking about storing chairs and lounges. It's, you know, we're gonna get the rake next season and everything, so.
I would,
I mean,
It
it's a bit more
becomes more
convenient, there's
of
no
a
doubt about
beach,
that.
yeah.
I would think it would almost be something we could wait till the spring to do. And if we could store this for one season up here, and then when we get the rake and get that ready to go, maybe we could budget
Well,
more effectively for the
So
two
the
grand.
budget's in place. So the question is, do you just keep prolonging it, or do you be a little more proactive? It's $2,000, you put it up, you start it, and you're ready to go. Because you know what'll happen in the spring, it won't happen,
Right.
there'll be other things, and it'll just become another, well, we should have done it type of thing.
Oh, so I didn't know the budget was there for it.
Well, we have a budget for some type of restoration for the beaches or the parks. So, there's an option, we do it if we want, whatever you think.
I think it would be good to do it, if we can do it. What do you think, Ron? Do you think we can afford to do it?
Well, I have some of the projections on where we are, and I would like to go over some of the numbers to see what's up, what's down.
Okay, so we can come back
You
to
don't
that
have any
then.
money?
No, we had a $5,000 per
Not
cent.
Walnut, no.
No, that's California?
Trustees.
Oh, trustees.
Is trustees gonna be done?
The tennis
They were
court's
there
been
here
done
the
now.
other day, Gold Coast was here doing the tennis courts.
Oh, yeah. So, but.
And then over the winter, I'd like to see if we could talk to National Grid about moving the pole.
Okay.
And then maybe even talk to Vera about that right away there. Or,
I was thinking at the very least, go looking into a permit for the sand again. So
Okay.
maybe